Drake just jumped into some wild drama, and the reason why, straight up petty vibes. It all started when Jim Jones made a bold claim. He said he's better than Nas. Yeah, Nas. Most folks backed away from Jim real quick after that, but not Drake. Oh no, he did the opposite. He stood up for Jim. Why? Because Drake caught feelings after finding out Nas is hopping on Clips's new album, which Pusha T just teased. That was all it took to set him off. See, Drake thought he and Nas were cool, but hearing that Nas is teaming up with Pusha, one of Drake's biggest rivals, that pushed Drake to pick a side, and he chose Jim Jones of all people. Now Jim's out here hyping Drake like crazy, saying he's better than Nas, Jay-Z, and any other rap legend in the game, and he's not stopping there. Jim's also out here defending Drake's messy legal beef with UMG. Yeah, Drake's actually suing his own label because they let Kendrick Lamar drop that brutal diss track, Not Like Us. Wild, right? While the rest of the industry's been laughing at Drake for running to the courts after losing a rap battle, Jim's standing by him like a loyal soldier. He's saying Drake's doing it for the culture? Seriously? But here's what everyone's wondering now. Are Drake and Jim just trolling to stay in the headlines? Are they that desperate for clout? Or do they really believe they're right and the whole industry's wrong? Subscribe to this channel for more jaw-dropping updates like this. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Let's break this madness down. By now, everyone's heard Jim Jones set the internet on fire when he claimed he's better than Nas. Yeah, that Nas. And instead of backing off after all the heat, Jim actually doubled down, bragging that he made Nas go viral for the first time in years. Can you believe that? But hip-hop fans, they weren't having it. The backlash was instant and brutal. Comments exploded online, calling Jim's take flat-out disrespectful. Some were shocked this was even a real debate, Jim Jones versus Nas. Most people couldn't stop laughing, like, is this a joke? It didn't matter that Jim's been in the game for over 20 years. The second he tried to compare himself to Nas, fans instantly dismissed him. Because let's be real, Nas isn't just another rapper. He's the one who dropped Illmatic at 20 and is still grabbing Grammy nods decades later. Ask legends like RZA and they'll tell you, Nas is a genius, the Bobby Fischer of MCs. That's the level we're talking about. And Jim, he's out here trying to stand next to that? Come on. But Jim ain't backing down, not even a little. He's now teasing a new interview with Angie Martinez, and from the looks of it, he's still talking spicy about Nas. So now we gotta ask, what does respect mean to Jim Jones? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what he says next. It's only getting messier from here. Now, if you peek at the comment sections, fans are over it. They're fed up with this whole Jim Jones versus Nas mess, and most of them are calling Jim out for chasing clout hard. One user even said, "Why is this man-child so obsessed with going viral?" That's all I've seen from him for weeks. And real talk, people are wondering if Jim really thinks disrespecting Nas is gonna boost his streams. Another person came through with this savage line, "How you lose a rap battle you started and the other dude didn't even spit a single bar back." And they're not wrong. Nas has stayed dead silent this whole time. No response, no shade, nothing. It's like he doesn't even see Jim as worth the energy. That silence, loud. Just when everybody thought this cringe drama was finally dying down, bam, Drake decides to jump in, totally uninvited. And let's be clear, this beef ain't got anything to do with Drake, but he just had to make it about himself. Out of nowhere, he posts a pic with Jim Jones and throws sneaky shade at Nas while he's at it. Then Jim drops in the comments saying, "Men of respect, mafia rules," a toast to the last ones left, like they're in some rap mob movie or something. You already know fans didn't hold back. The replies were brutal. People are saying this officially confirmed that Drake and Jim might be the two corniest rappers in the game right now, and they're not saying that just to hate. Drake jumping in looks way more like him chasing drama than showing loyalty. Truth is, Drake lives for rage bait. He loves stirring up controversy just to keep his name buzzing. Whether it's trolling or flipping the narrative, he knows exactly what he's doing to stay in the spotlight. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want more raw breakdowns like this. We're just getting started. Another big reason Drake's riding with Jim? These two actually go way back. And Jim is one of the very few in the industry who took Drake's side during that heated beef with Kendrick. Right after Drake hit Universal Music Group with that defamation lawsuit for letting Kendrick drop Not Like Us, Jim popped out with full support. He called Drake's legal move a power play. While the rest of the rap game clowned Drake for lawyering up, Jim treated it like a genius move. Then in an interview with Angela Yee, Jim took it even further. He claimed Drake has done more for the culture than most rappers out here. Big words. But that wasn't the end of it. Jim kept the praise flowing like water. He said Drake isn't just one of the best right now. He called him the greatest rapper of all time. And get this, Jim even called Drake his spirit animal, for real. As for Drake, he's always had love for Jim and the whole Dipset crew. He's been a Harlem fanboy for years, shouting out Cameron, Jules, and Jim on tracks and in interviews. In fact, back in 2023, Jim went as far as calling Drake the honorary fifth member of Dipset. That's real street stamp approval. But here's the twist. Yeah, there's clearly mutual respect between them, but Drake stepping into the Nas versus Jim chaos, that move wasn't just about loyalty or friendship. There's definitely something else behind that shade. Stick around and hit that subscribe button, because the real reason behind Drake's moves, it's deeper than you think. The Clips just dropped the official track list for their upcoming album, and it's already stirring up the streets. According to Complex, Nas is featured on track 12, Let God Sort 'Em Out Chandeliers, and people are losing it. Now, we don't know yet if this joint is a diss or who might get caught in the crossfire, but Pusha T teased in a Rolling Stone interview that the song is sharp. He also admitted he's been chasing that Nas feature for years, so the fact it's finally happening, yeah, it's big. But here's where things get spicy. The album also includes a collab with Kendrick Lamar called Chains and Whips, and the whole thing is produced top to bottom by Pharrell. That's right, 3 of Drake's biggest longtime rivals are all on one project. Fans are connecting the dots fast. Now let's talk Nas. He's never really had public beef with Drake, but teaming up with Pusha, Kendrick, and Pharrell, that sends a loud message, even if Nas ain't saying a word. To a lot of people, this looks like Nas just picked a side, and if you think that's a stretch, well, folks close to Drake are saying he's not happy about this feature at all. Why? Simple. Because Pusha T is involved. And let's be honest, if there's one rapper Drake's been ducking in the booth, it's definitely Pusha. Don't forget, this is the same guy who dropped The Story of Adidon and blew up Drake's secret child situation for the whole world to see. That diss didn't just shake the internet, it shattered Drake's image, and to this day he's never clapped back properly. Hit that subscribe button right now, because with this lineup and that tension, it's about to get real messy. Drake tried to play it cool, but everybody saw right through him. The man was clearly rattled. Now when it comes to Nas, it's true. He and Drake never had beef. Not officially anyway. Drake's shown love for Nas plenty of times over the years, always acknowledging his legacy and giving props where it's due. They weren't close or anything, but there was mutual respect, or so we thought. But here's the twist. Nas has always been a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. After Kendrick dropped his latest album, GNX, fresh off dominating that Drake beef, Nas posted the cover on Instagram and straight up praised him. His caption, "Always inspired by my brother Kendrick Lamar, keeping the essence of this ish alive and at the forefront. Salute, King." That wasn't just a compliment, that was a full-on crowning. So now it's 2025 and Nas is teaming up with Pusha T on an album that also features Kendrick. That's a clear message, whether he meant it that way or not. And of course, Drake took that personally. Sources close to his circle say he's feeling betrayed, like after all the respect he's shown Nas, this move cuts deep. Which brings us right back to the Jim Jones mess. A lot of fans are convinced this is exactly why Drake suddenly backed Jim in the Nas versus Jim drama. It wasn't about loyalty, it wasn't about rap legacy, it was about revenge. Drake felt snubbed, and instead of coming at Nas directly, he decided to team up with the one guy bold enough to diss Nas out loud. Make sure to subscribe, because trust, this triangle of egos is only heating up. But here's where things get even messier. Drake didn't just stop at supporting Jim Jones. Behind the scenes, he's been making quiet moves that fans are starting to piece together. Industry insiders say Drake has been reaching out to certain blogs and influencers to subtly steer the narrative in his favor. He wants this whole Nas versus Jim debate to stay alive, not because he cares about Jim's legacy, but because it gives him the perfect smokescreen. While everyone's busy dragging Jim for saying he's better than Nas, nobody's focusing on Drake's silence about Kendrick, Pharrell, or even Nas's subtle alliance shift. And remember, Drake's always been strategic. He doesn't go for the head-on beef like the old days. Now he leans into passive-aggressive tactics, cryptic Instagram stories, carefully timed collabs, and shady captions that make fans do all the guessing. That's exactly what he's doing now. He wants people talking, even if it's messy, especially if it's messy. Meanwhile, Jim is out here doing exactly what Drake needs him to do. Take the heat, stir the pot, and stay loud enough to keep Nas's name in the mix. It's like Jim's playing the fall guy, whether he realizes it or not, and fans are catching on. People online are saying Drake is using Jim like a pawn, and it's hard to argue. Drake's got the clout, the reach, and the media savvy to twist narratives in his favor while keeping his hands clean. But how long can this strategy work before it backfires? Subscribe now, because the next twist in this tangled rap web, it's coming fast and it's gonna blow up timelines. And just when you thought it couldn't get shadier, now fans are digging up old clips and interviews that add even more fuel to the fire. A resurfaced video from 2017 shows Drake calling Nas one of the greatest to ever do it during a backstage interview, saying how much he studied Nas's flow and storytelling. He even admitted Nas was one of his early inspirations. So the big question now is that what changed? Fans think they've cracked it. They're saying Drake isn't mad because Nas disrespected him. He's mad because Nas didn't pick his side. Simple as that. And it gets even deeper. People close to the industry are claiming Drake had actually reached out to Nas for a collab not long ago, but supposedly got no response. And when that same energy turned up on a Pusha T project with Kendrick in the mix, that's when things hit a breaking point. It's not about music anymore. It's about lines being drawn. The rap world is splitting into camps, and Drake's feeling like his circle's shrinking. He's not just losing battles in the booth, he's losing alliances he thought were solid. Meanwhile, Jim Jones is still out here screaming about being the greatest of all time, calling himself the voice of the streets, and taking every chance he gets to throw shade at Nas. But now that fans are seeing Drake's quiet moves behind the scenes, it's becoming clear Jim might just be a distraction. So what's next? Will Drake finally respond with a track? Will Nas break his silence? Smash that subscribe button, because we're watching hip-hop history unfold in real time, and trust, the next chapter's about to be wild. Let's be real. Drake's never been the type to sit back quietly when his clout feels threatened. If he senses the spotlight slipping even a little, you know he's gonna slide in with some slick shade, even when the situation has nothing to do with him. That's exactly what's happening now. People all over are calling Drake out for being petty, plain and simple. Instead of focusing on dropping new heat, he's busy picking sides in a mess that ain't even his. And why? Just because Nas is featured on Pusha T's new album, and we all know Pusha can't stand Drake, he suddenly decides to back Jim Jones and sneak diss Nas like it's some loyalty chess match. But honestly, it all adds up. Drake's entire career has been fueled by loyalty plays, behind-the-scenes politics, and keeping full control over the narrative. He surrounds himself with yes men, and the moment someone dares to challenge that bubble, he shuts them out quick. So yeah, it's not shocking at all that Drake inserted himself into the Jim versus Nas drama. That's classic Drake behavior. Make it about him, keep the talk alive, and try to spin the story in his favor. But here's the twist. Fans aren't falling for it this time. They're not focused on Drake's distractions anymore. What everyone is really hyped for now, that upcoming Clips album, with Pusha T, Kendrick Lamar, Nas, and Pharrell all on board, it's shaping up to be historic. And let's just say this. If Drake's planning to respond, he better start writing now, because that project might drop bombs that nobody can ignore. Hit that subscribe button. We're about to witness rap royalty shake the game like never before.